What better way than to say happy birthday than a homemade chocolate cake? This is no ordinary chocolate cake. Today I'm making a classic devil's food cake for my husband's birthday, rich, deeply chocolatey with just a subtle hint of coconut baked right into the crumb. It's indulgent, nostalgic, and exactly the kind of cake you make when you want to celebrate someone. Can't wait for him to come home. Today's video is going to be extra special because I am baking a chocolate cake specifically for my husband's birthday. He loves chocolate cake, so I thought what a better way to celebrate him than making a homemade cake from scratch. If you haven't seen any of my videos, I make cooking videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more recipes like this. My name's Priscilla and let's get started. This recipe is based on a classic devil's food cake, but with a few intentional tweaks to deepen the chocolate flavor and warmth without overpowering it. But before we dive right in, let's go over some of the tools that we're gonna need for this recipe. As you can see, the KitchenAid. You can use a whisk, and you will see, might as well go ahead and get that out. But the KitchenAid is something that we're gonna be using in this video. A 9 by 2 inch round pan. I'm using two because I'm making a big birthday cake, so 2 of these, and get some parchment paper. I'm gonna go ahead and round this off. Line it right up in the middle. A mesh strainer and another bowl as well. I really like to use these cake utensils. It really helps lay the icing out when we're ready for them. So I do have 2 sizes. This size is to get the bulk of the icing, and then this one is to kind of even things out. Also, as a disclaimer, if you want to view the recipe in detail, I'm going to drop them in the description below. All of the ingredients and the instructions. I'm gonna put the recipe card as well. I created recipe cards for YouTube so you can save them. I also created recipe cards for Pinterest as well, so if you wanna save that on Pinterest. Basically, there's a ton of ways that you can download, save this recipe, the ingredient list, and instructions right on your cell phone. Okay, now that we've gone through all of the different tools that we're gonna need for this recipe, let's get into making our cake batter. Definitely have your butter at room temperature. I'm using unsalted, which is what I would recommend. First step is to mix all of my dry ingredients. We're gonna mix 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2. Doing this really gets out any clumps that there might be in the flour. And I'm still gonna whisk it anyway, but this just shifts out any of the clumps. Half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt. Just gonna sift this. Can just make sure that the salt, the baking powder, and the baking soda and the flour are all well combined. In this next step, I'm going to mix my cocoa powder and my coconut oil together. This recipe does call for a neutral oil. A lot of recipes call for vegetable oil in particular, but in today's recipe, I'm actually going to be using coconut oil. Now, there is a big difference between refined and unrefined coconut oil, which I'm about to unpack right here in this video. I'm looking for a subtle coconut flavor that really pairs beautifully with my chocolate. If you don't like coconut, then use vegetable oil here, or you can use unrefined coconut. But refined coconut and unrefined all comes down to how it's processed. Unrefined, which is virgin coconut oil, it's pressed from fresh coconut meat, minimal processing, strong coconut smell and taste. It's very noticeable in baked goods. Now, the refined coconut oil, it's made from dried coconut. It has no coconut taste or smell. Smelling the unrefined coconut oil, strong coconut smell, aroma, versus the refined, I smell nothing. So the refined is very close to a regular vegetable. So if you don't want to taste the coconut in your cake, then I would probably go with refined. But I am looking for a subtle coconut flavor, so I'm going to go with this one right here. And we need 120 milliliters of coconut, and I'm going to microwave it to melt it. It's a very subtle coconut taste that you can taste in the cake batter. In fact, I made double chocolate chip muffins in a previous video, which you can view here. And I use coconut oil, and you can really taste how that coconut just comes out. It's very subtle, it's not overpowering at all. Adding in the coconut oil to that butter is really going to give it that balance that we're looking for. Get my strainer out, and I'm going to do 1 cup of my cocoa powder into my strainer. I love to cook with this, and I cook with it all the time, and it's fabulous. 1 cup. And I warn you that the cocoa powder is so light that it will floof everywhere. So just try to be a little cautious with that. So just to give you a visual, see how the cocoa powder has these little itty bitty balls in them. So that's why we use the strainer. And so then now I'm just gonna take my whisk and just kind of push it down. My coconut oil has been melted. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it right into my cocoa here. I'm gonna let this bloom for a second, which blooming, by the way, just allows the cocoa powder to really open up and become strong and vibrant and fluffy chocolate. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. Meanwhile, now I'm going to use my KitchenAid. It's a half a stick of very softened butter, and I'm gonna be using this tool here. Beat my butter for about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna clean up while I'm doing this, but I'm gonna lock this, and this is gonna be at medium speed. It's been a couple minutes, so this is what we are looking like with our butter. You really want your butter to be light, fluffy, and pale at this point. I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of regular granulated sugar, half a cup of brown sugar. So I like to stop it every now and then and just scrape the sides, make sure that all my butter and my sugars are well incorporated. And I'm just mixing this at a medium speed. Now I'm going to pour my cocoa powder and my oil mixture straight in with my sugars, much as you can. So I want to show you with good light what this looks like. A little grainy, it's super fluffy, it smells like chocolate in my kitchen. We are not done yet because we're gonna mix in my eggs and vanilla. In the same little bowl that I heated my coconut oil, I'm gonna go ahead and put all 3 of my eggs, and I'm gonna drop them in one at a time. But it's so important to put your eggs in a separate bowl, because if you crack your eggs straight into this mixture and an eggshell gets in and mixes in, oh, that's gonna be so difficult to find. So always put your eggs in a separate bowl. Looks good. One at a time. So after I incorporated all 3 of my eggs slowly at a time, here's what we're looking like. And then now we're gonna finish with 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Right into your cake batter. Smells so good. Coconut, chocolate, vanilla. Oh my gosh, my kitchen smells amazing right now. So now I'm going to mix together my sour cream and my whole milk together, and I'm going to slowly pour it into my batter. So I want 1 cup of whole milk, half a cup of sour cream. This is going to keep our cake batter moist. Mix that together. This is where some fun begins, because now what we're going to do is alternate between our milk and our dry ingredients very slowly with our stand mixer. And you want to do this at low speed so that way your flour doesn't go everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on low, and I want to start with my flour. After your mixture is light and fluffy, we are ready for our coffee. Now the coffee truly helps everything come together as well. You don't taste the coffee, it just enhances the chocolate. And with this recipe, I actually have this instant coffee here that I got as a white elephant gift for Christmas. So I thought, hey, might as well just use it for this. Espresso or very strong cup of coffee works beautifully in this recipe. I like to go in with my spatula and just make sure all the sides are scraped down. All of those ingredients are combined. Nothing is stuck at the bottom. Now, if you want chocolate chips, now's a good time to add chocolate chips. I think I'm going to, because my husband loves chocolate chips. make sure that we have our paper down, which is what we did in the beginning. And I am using baking spray. If you don't have any spray on hand, take a stick of butter and I want you to wipe it all the way around your pan. Put some flour in there and dust off the extra flour and you're good to go. But I'm just gonna spray right over this, the parchment paper. You wanna make sure that your cake batter is even, but just do the best you can. You can measure this with a scale or you can eyeball it. I am going to eyeball it. Put that off to the side. Put both of these in my oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes. But you're definitely gonna wanna take a toothpick and make sure they're done in the middle. Whew, now that we're done cleaning up our mess, we have roughly about 10 more minutes left until we need to decide if our cake needs more or less time. But now we're off to making the buttercream frosting. What is a birthday cake without frosting? So we are making chocolate buttercream frosting in this next segment. Very similar to how we made our cake batter, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to whip our butter up until it's light, airy, and fluffy, and it's gonna take about 5 minutes. You want 1.5 cups of butter. And this is room temperature butter as well. So this has been sitting out the entire time I made my cake batter and it is ready to go. So I'm just gonna drop all 3 of these right into this bowl and just start whipping it up. And look at that. It is light, airy, and fluffy, exactly what we want. Sift my cocoa powder, just like I did last time, just to get out all the clumps. I want 1/2 cup. And then as you can see, I've got all of those little dots. If you don't add salt to this, then you're really not gonna taste the chocolate. So it's super important you add the salt. And we're gonna add 3/4 of a teaspoon right in with my chocolate. And we want 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1. Very slowly. You can kind of see how the cocoa powder is fluffing up. Using my same bowl, I want 6 to 8 cups of powdered sugar. Now this really is a taste as you go. If you don't like your buttercream to be super sweet, then you'll add probably around the 6 cups. But if you love sweets, then maybe the 8 cups might be something that you're interested in. And I'm gonna sift my powdered sugar as well. And very similarly how we did the cake batter, we are going to add in 1 cup at a time of our powdered sugar, along with our heavy cream, slowly adding it in to our mixture. 8 tablespoons. Start with our sugar. Okay, I'm gonna scrape the sides again. Some of this powdered sugar and butter. Ooh. So I just took out my cake from the oven while I was mixing this. Put a wood toothpick in the center and pulled it out and it came out completely clean. So that's how I knew that it was ready. And now I'm going to let my cake cool completely before I put my buttercream on. I have these pizza things that I have, 3 different sizes. And I'm just going to flip this upside down like that. And it's not too terribly hot, but I'm still using gloves anyway. And I'm just doing this because I want to show you how this came out. And you're just going to take this right on off. Don't need that anymore. And then look at there. Beautiful, beautiful cake. So I'm just going to, again, leave this on my stove. And the reason I'm doing it like this is just so that way it can cool completely and it kind of helps speed up the process. So let's see how our buttercream is looking. Look at how light that is. It is beautiful. So I'm going to try it and see how we like it. Need some more powdered sugar, and I might need some more heavy whipping cream. Let's keep at it. little bit on the thicker side, which is great. I don't want it to be runny or anything, so this is perfect. I'm pretty happy with the way this came out and the flavor, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it's done. I'm going to clean up my mess again and keep this off to the side. I'm not ready to clean this just yet because whenever I'm ready to assemble my cake, I am going to want to fluff it up again with this KitchenAid mixer. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this for now and when I'm ready to mix this. It is my favorite part, the assembly. Our cake is cool to touch, so I am ready to get started. First, what we're gonna do is just take a little dollop, put it right in the center, keep the cake in place. So normally you can take a serrated knife and cut it, but for the most part, I would say that my cake looks pretty even or flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it. And then I'm going to take another dollop of my icing. Letting your cake cool completely will help keep the icing from melting. And I'm not gonna totally go to the edge because as I put the next layer of cake on, it will kind of smush out the icing. Now that I think I've gotten icing pretty evenly dispersed, I am going to kind of make it a little decorative. There. I think he's going to love it. I have so much extra buttercream. I think I want to add some strawberries. Yum! Before I forget, thank you for watching this video. I hope you make this chocolate cake for somebody you love. I think there's something special that says, I love you, happy birthday, than a homemade chocolate cake like this. Thanks so much for watching this video and subscribing if you haven't already. I would love that. Stay tuned for his reveal when he walks in. I'm Priscilla, this is King Your Kitchen, and happy birthday to everybody who's celebrating or has something to celebrate. I hope that you make a cake for yourself or for somebody that you love, and I hope that this video inspires you to create in the kitchen and to share I love you with food. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.